Oh, we never know where life will take us. I know it's just a ride on the wheel, and we never know when death will shake us, and we wonder how it will feel. So goodbye, my friend. I know I'll never see you again, but the time together through all the years will take away these tears. It's okay now. Goodbye, my friend. I see a lot of things that make me crazy, and I guess I held on to you. You could have run away and left, well, maybe, but it wasn't time, and we both knew. So goodbye, my friend. I know I'll never see you again, but the love you gave me through all the years will take away these tears. I'm okay now. Goodbye, my friend. Life's so fragile and love's so pure. We can't hold on, but we try. We watch how quickly it disappears, and we never know why. But I'm okay now. Goodbye, my friend. You can go now. Goodbye, my friend.
Hey everybody, welcome to Off Limits Show, game ass show. I'm not really sure why I'm doing this show. I guess just because I wanted to tell you about what happened to me today, and how also wanted to talk about, I guess, how important our pets are to us and as gay people. And I think that that's an important thing to discuss because I certainly know how that feels. But I today. My dog Monty is his name, or was his name. He died today, and he's almost 15 years old. He was 14 and a half, actually, and he had been sick for a while, but just sort of not well, but he was still himself, active and happy and alert and, those sorts of things. And then until last week, and all of a sudden last week, he just literally couldn't walk anymore. He got to the point where he couldn't walk anymore anyway, except when he was outside, when he would go to the bathroom. And then last week, he couldn't even do that anymore. And then as the week wore on, he stopped eating food. And as of yesterday, he just wouldn't eat anything anymore or drink water or anything. And so I knew it was time for him to go, and I was going to take him to have him euthanized on Monday, tomorrow. And that was the plan over the weekend to do that, because we knew it was the end of his time. and I wanted him to go that way because I wanted to be able to make sure he didn't suffer. But today, this morning, this afternoon or whatever, when I woke up, my husband woke me up and he told me that he had already died. And of course, I was crying and bawling my eyes out and extremely sad and unhappy about that. I was crying so hard. I just, the pain is so deep when you have a pet for almost 15 years and you just, they become part of your family. And, he was like, keep saying this, but he was like my child or my kid, he was like my kid. So I certainly loved him very much. And so he died today. And the good thing is he died in our bedroom on his bed and at home, and he wasn't scared. And the good thing is, actually, I wasn't going to take him to the vet. I was having our vet come to us to euthanize him on Monday because he didn't like car rides, first of all, and he was extremely nervous and scared of the vet. So I didn't want his last moments to be filled with fear, and so I was having the vet come to us on Monday. That was the earliest she could get here. And anyway, we didn't need her to come, but I'm a little disappointed that I didn't get to do it that way because now I don't know if he suffered or not before he died. Michael said he was still breathing when he got up this morning, and he went to do laundry. He came back in the bedroom, and he checked on him, and he had stopped breathing. So I don't know. Anyway, so I'm actually burying him. I'm taking him to a pet cemetery here in Dallas on Wednesday. Actually, we went today to take him there. Hold on. We went today to take him there to the cemetery, or the place that does everything. They have a cemetery on premises as well. And I debated whether I was going to cremate him or if I was going to bury him. And the thought of him being cremated, I just didn't sit well with me. It still doesn't. Even with a human being, it doesn't. I don't like cremation because the body is being burned up, obviously incinerated into ashes, and I just couldn't do that to him. And I wanted a burial, or I wanted a fitting, respectful, last burial or whatever for him. I wanted something that was respectful of his life and what he meant to us and me. And so we are burying him in a casket for dogs, and putting his pillow or his bed in there or something like that on Wednesday. And we're doing that Wednesday. So I think it's an appropriate thing for him. I think it's respectful of his life. He'll have a headstone, and I can go visit if I ever want to. So anyway, that's what happened to me today. And needless to say, I've been crying all day long. I mean, the first hour, I literally just cried nonstop and was just in so much pain. And I still am in pain, and it was just so sad. But I've been crying on and off since then all day, and I'm crying a lot exhausts you. I've been exhausted and tired. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't sleep, so I got back up, and because all I can do is think about him and missing him. And but the question, I guess, is I was thinking about it as gay people. A lot of gay people don't have children, and we instead have pets, and that we pamper and love as if they were our children. And so I wonder, is it more difficult for gay people in some ways? Not, of course, it's not to minimize anyone else's grief, but I mean, is it more difficult in some ways for gay people who are like that, who don't have children and who have pets instead, to lose a pet, because they really are ingrained into our families. They're part of our family, part of who we are, part of our family unit. And now when I walk in the house, it's just quiet, and his bowl's not there anymore. His bed's not there. He's not there. And so it's just the energy in the house has shifted. His energy's gone, and I just don't feel him anymore. So I'm very sad. But because we don't have children, they become our kids. And so when we do lose a pet that is part of our family, it is so difficult for us. I think more so than someone who has children as well as pets. And I don't know how painful it is to lose a child, But I tell you, this is really painful, losing a pet. It's extremely painful. But I did a memorial of him. I knew this is, we're taking him this week. And so Thursday I did a montage of a video and slideshow of photographs as well, all kind of montage together of him over his lifetime from, beginning to end. And that helped me. It was a little cathartic, I guess, but I was glad that I did it Thursday and not after the fact, because I would have been too much of a mess to have done it now. But I was able to post it on Facebook, and all of our friends and stuff, gave their condolences, etc. So it was good that I was able to do that, and it made me feel good about honoring him and honoring his life, and that he had died. So I don't know, if I'd had a child, I wouldn't have done anything differently. Basically, if I had a child, I would have buried them as well. I would have given them a memorial service as well. I would have put them in a casket. I would have, honored them the same way I'm honoring my dog. And he was such a wonderful dog. He was so sweet, and he was intelligent, and he was funny, and he was beautiful. He was a beautiful dog too. He was a Sheltie, but he's a blue Merle Sheltie, not a regular Sheltie. He was just gorgeous, and he loved everybody. Everybody loved him. And when I was younger, and I got him when I was 25. I'm 40 now, so it's like 15 years. It seems like a world has passed between then and now for me. What happened in my life in my early 20s or my mid 20s, and where I am now, it's just a world apart. But he was there the whole time for the beginning of my life, not my life, but my career. I started working for myself at 25, and he was there through so many things in my life, and there for me, just as someone to be with and hold and the pet and everything. But he was a sweet dog, and I'll miss him. Anyway, so I think I had something else on here I wanted to talk about in regards to this. The gays and pets are like kids. Yes, I talked about that. Oh, the other thing is, questioning death. I feel like, hold on. Sorry. I feel like I'm, every time I go through this, first of all, I hate death, in any fashion or form. I mean, everybody does, obviously. But it's a part of life. It's part of the life cycle. And even though that's the case, it doesn't make it hurt any less, and missing someone or your pet or whatever. And so it is, so every time I've lost someone, whether it was my grandmother a few years ago, like 5 years ago, to whom I was extremely close, or my dog Monty, who was I very close with, I always question whether there's anything after death or not, And I, as you know, I'm agnostic. I'm not an atheist. And people sometimes say atheism and agnosticism, or whatever, however you say it, are the same thing, but they're really not. An atheist is someone who says there absolutely is nothing after death, and an agnostic says there may or may not be. I don't know. Basically, they're saying that they're saying there could be or there couldn't be. They're not denying the fact that there could be. But anyway, so I've always been, on the fence about whether there is anything or not. And I still don't know. No one knows until they die, right? But even if there is something, I don't think it looks the way that we're always taught and told in religion. I think it's something, it looks different than we probably think it is, and feels different, and it takes a body of some sort of different type of entity than, it's energy. And I've said before, energy cannot be destroyed or created or destroyed. That's the rule in physics or whatever. So because of that, that means that the energy we have goes somewhere when we die, whether it's to heaven with, a rainbow and our family members or something waiting for us is one thing. Or if it's something more mundane, like just our energy continues to exist, but we don't have a physical form somehow, whether we have a consciousness or not, I don't know.